Embrace death, say the players right before the camera turns on.
Yeah.
That's always a good feeling. Hello. We're back. We're really light tonight. This is kind of wild that we went from last week with like 7 of us here. This week there's 3 of us. It's like there's nobody on the screen.
We're in space.
It's like
we're in space.
We did the big crossover episode, and now we each went back to our own series.
Exactly.
And then we'll have to come back together for the next crossover.
Yep. We need to knock a couple episodes out to get back to the crossover. We have been chatting, but how are you guys doing? Happy Tuesday. Hello.
Happy Tuesday. What a weird day Tuesday is.
It is a weird day, isn't it? You're like feeling better about the week because it's not Monday, but it's so far to the weekend, you know?
So far. So very far.
It really still hurts. Like, so it's a little bit better, but still not great. Yeah.
That's what we have this for.
Exactly.
Tuesday's better.
I do very deeply look forward to Tuesdays. Like is it Thursday of my reality? It's like, is it Tuesday yet? Like, is it Dragonfly? I get like so excited for this show every week. We had a really good time last week. It was certainly crazy, and you guys split the party. So
always the best idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Rule number 874. Don't split the party.
The party. It's really funny because I just saw Roll20 has been implementing a bunch of great new features, and they've got a thing now where like you can grab the players from the bottom and just put them on the map that you want. Like I can change your player view from the main screen, I think, which is kind of exciting, and like isolate you guys on different maps.
Great.
Yeah, it's a great feeling.
That sounds fun.
Taylor, you know the drill. I love like initiative on multiple maps. I love when there's like one initiative count, Kevin, and we're switching to like 3 different maps.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that sounds dope.
Yeah.
It can be fun. Not tonight, though. Not tonight. Tonight, we have not rolled initiative yet, but we're just going to focus in on the 2 of you alone. As you guys broke off in these very interesting pairs of like the professor and Doc are going to like go break into the advisor's room. And Jake and Reya went to go talk to Brizzoli Chaos Brewer about the bees. And so you 2 went up to the flight deck to discuss with the advisor, hey, what's going on with you?
Yeah. What's up? What's
your deal?
At which point everything went like pretty seriously sideways.
Yeah, real quick. Just
apparently what's your deal was the wrong question.
Kind of was. It was a little bit about the messenger, you know. She had like enough animosity read from like the first meeting there, Lux, that she was like, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I wasn't even there that day.
Well, that's why you're not the one that's dominated, right?
I know. Poor Kevin with the collateral damage just showing up just in time to get hit in the face with 5th level spells. Oh gosh.
Oh boy.
Well. Do you guys have any like questions? Is there any like kind of stuff that we want to go over? I know I probably asked you that already and we don't, but
how do I not die here?
How do we get through this?
Yeah.
Very good question. Don't forget your Paladin aura this week. You get big bonuses on your saving throws because you are Yanna the Paladin, which is cool.
Yep, and hopefully will work in our favor. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, it has to. So I suppose then, without further ado, we will dive back in to mini episode number 1 of Dragonfly. As the camera opens up and we take in the sight of this vast citadel hurtling through the stars, the twinkling motes of starlight around you on the backdrop of the kind of velvety black void of space, this enormous castle built in the likeness of a dwarf's face with his fist raising up above it, holding a massive axe. The camera begins kind of like zooming down and panning around the entirety of this structure, where we see dwarves moving on the walls in the low battlements, churning rolls of smoke kind of bellowing out of stacks Lux along the base of the citadel itself, the flickering glow of lamps and candles and magical light from the hallways within. And we circle up around to like one of the towers on the highest point of this citadel, as it were. The camera like dropping down in over the sight of a handful of people out on this small square rooftop. There are turrets rising up at the four corners of this structure, these two huge kind of telescopes mounted off of the sides, and a dwarf stands at each telescope, their faces like turning to take in the sight of the three individuals in the middle of the floor. As we see Lux, her eyes like kind of dimly glazed over while she stares at the blue hair of the tiefling in front of her. Amelia Vernus is her name, advisor to Brazzoli Chaos Brewer, the commander of the mercenary company known as the Gauntlet. And so she stands in front of you, Yanna, as you have one hand reached out, grasping your friend Lux, and this blue-haired tiefling, her eyes kind of like peering at you, emotionless, her face kind of flat, these pale kind of flesh-colored horns rising up around the blue hair that's sort of like tossing in the breeze of wind. Lux, your mind is a blank slate as you feel the presence of Amelia inside of your head with you. And so Yanna, while you like stand looking at her, she just like turns to you like, I merely wish to have a conversation with your associate. There really is no need for this to escalate so dramatically.
I agree. It would be really nice to de-escalate the situation by de-escalating your hold on my friend here.
She is reluctant to discuss things openly with me. I thought that perhaps I could impress upon her who had control of the situation.
Reluctant to discuss things openly with you? It seems to be the other way around, isn't it? Seems to be quite the conversation we're having, and really you closed the door by taking over her mind.
I think at this point we hear like, as we see one of the like telescopes just like pitch down, the dwarf who's holding it kind of lowering it to turn to like look at you, and they each like take 2 steps towards you from like the opposite directions of the wall. So there's kind of a dwarf behind the pair of you and another now behind Amelia, right? And I think that she just like compels you, Lux. We only have a minute here. I know like I do not have a lot of time of like a total and absolute control. And so she just is like, I think that you feel the surge in your mind of like, enter the room to the north.
Okay, yeah, I start to walk into the room.
But so Yanna is holding you at this moment. And so Kevin, you feel like Yanna feels as Lux begins like kind of like her arm like pulling against yours while you're like holding your friend back.
So here comes the interesting question. Kevin knows stuff here. Does Yanna know enough about this spell to do something here?
Quite possibly. Let's have Yanna make like an intelligence check or an arcana check if you're proficient in this.
Absolutely not. But I will do the intelligence check. Okay, I don't have to select myself, right? I just hit it. Okay.
Yep. Nope.
Oh.
No.
Yeah.
Cool. Good start. Get all
no
those out.
problem.
Get
Yeah.
Let's get that bunk all out.
Cool.
I think that Yanna, like, as like compelled as they are in the moment, right? Like, so in the like instant, isn't 100% certain of like how to free your friend from the grasp of the spell, and so you feel her beginning to like pull at you a little bit.
Oh no! I also only have one hand. Oof. Okay. If it's an open conversation you want, why can't you have it with her just here? You have control of her. We could just be talking, and she could just be here, holding hands with me. A very friendly gesture, if there was any.
And I think that she's just like, I want to make her aware of all that is happening here. I suppose you may as well join us then if you are this insistent that you will not release your hold. And I think she begins like striding over towards the door over here. You want to do anything?
You said to join us?
Yeah, I think that she says to you, you may as well join us then if you would like. And she starts like striding over to open this door that she's like guiding Lux toward.
Okay, I start walking that way, but as I'm walking, I say and just like reach my other hand up and just like, oh, I'm always interested to see what's behind door number 1, but consider this a precaution just in case it's some sort of, I don't know, extra-dimensional evil goat or something. And Yanna's gonna slowly take out their sword, but keep it pointed down.
Okay. As Yanna like begins to draw out the sword, I think she opens the door, throwing open like doors here to this room. And she just turns like looking back to you like, I had really hoped to avoid taking you too early. So be it. And I think that we're going to roll initiative real quick right here.
Oh, we're going to get our asses captured is what's going to happen.
We'll see.
Oh, I love it so much. Okay.
One day, this character of mine will learn to maybe attack first and not ask questions.
These two are like such a good.
Oh, come on!
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
they really are. These two are like just an excellent pairing together. You know, they really like. I love it.
Such like fully like based on like make decisions based on emotion only. Mm-hmm. Like follow your
freedom
instincts.
Fighters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anything, right now, Lux is being oppressed, and as you know, we don't like that.
Yeah.
So.
With thumbs
not
down
happy.
on oppression.
No.
We do. I don't even have to ask if she's being oppressed. It's very obvious.
As
you can tell because I'm not talking.
As she throws the door open, you see like peering past her is this like steerage. There's this huge kind of glass wall, very similar to the kind of cockpit in the Dragonfly, with this huge almost like ship's wheel and a secondary like kind of system on the side. There's a little table with a bunch of maps like spread out on it. This whole like control panel with all these kind of like levers that it's got on it. And I think you see this ornate looking like suit of armor in the side of the room. That like turns to look at you, this red light like emanating out from underneath the armor itself, and you see a dwarf like turning to peer back at you, and I'd like Yanna for you to make a perception check right here.
Okay, cool. I wanted to see if I had anything for perception checks, but I don't believe I do. So, just regular perception. Oh boy, this is not a good start to this stuff.
Ooh, okay. Noted. 11. Got it. With that, I think that as like she like turns to you, the dwarf's like head like turning completely synchronized with hers as like you see the dwarf kind of like standing behind her, and she's just like, I had hoped to have you each individually so as not to make this so messy, but so be it. And I think that, Yanna, I need for you to roll a saving throw, wisdom saving throw. Yep. You don't forget you get your paladin aura to add to it. The DC is high, DC 18.
Okay, cool. I have advantage on all wisdom saving throws.
Yes, because you are a Verdan and you have telepathic abilities.
Hopefully this works. All the rolls have been bad. Finally.
Yes.
Yes.
You see her turn towards you and she's just like, let me double check half damage, right? Nope. You succeed at your saving throw, taking no damage. You feel this staggering pain in your mind, Yanna, as like the entirety of your sense of self, this collection of memories that you've experienced across your lifetime, layered together, connected to one another, all of which like collectively make you who you are. You feel them like grabbed forcibly and like pulled, like somebody is trying to like rip your memories out of your mind, and you manage to like drop like your mental barriers, your intellect fortress kind of like rising up into your mind. You sever this like connection as like the blue eyes of this tiefling woman are like flashing while she glares at you, and I think you see almost this like moisture around her eyes and like under her nose, as like almost like this moisture is beginning to like weep out of like her face a little bit as she's looking at you, and her jaw clenches, to which she's like, perhaps after I have your friend beat you into submission, you will be less resistant. That is her action. She like darts into the room, moving back here. That's her
I'll
movement.
say also, if Yanna has sensed what was happening, they're definitely going to grit their teeth and be like, not the first time someone's tried to take who I am from me.
And she's like, as she's like going, like eyes over her shoulder, like, it's the first time someone will have them, perhaps. As she like darts into the room. That is her turn. Lux, you're up on 12. You are dominated.
Yep.
I think that you feel this like urge in your mind of like, stop them. I think like, yeah.
Stop them,
Alright.
seize them, get them.
Yeah. I think that, and like, this is not like, I don't think subject to like the leeway of interpretation. As she's like,
I'm
this woman is
attacking
guiding you
Yanna.
to get your weapons and attack, you know?
Yeah.
You are a ranged fighter usually, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
good,
but
good.
I also have Lux has her like, what is it called? The ghost
the
ghost gauntlet.
Mhm.
Yeah. Lux
What
has
is
the
that?
ghost gauntlet.
Great. This is what I get. This is what I get. I'm not following what's happening all the time.
So yeah, Lux has this little like it's like a ring that connects to her wrist, and I think she like squeezes both of her hands, and like great axe made of like looks like that it's made of force just appears in her hands, mirroring the great axe that she got from.
She only has one hand.
Oh,
true. Yeah, Yanna is holding you by one arm. Yes.
Fair.
Yes. True.
fair. So then I guess it'll.
Oh,
just
this is
be...
heavy.
Yeah, I think she'll like pull like her hand down to like meet her other one, and then just like swing up, like as with Yanna's like hand on her.
Is that a disadvantage since I'm holding her and? She has to use a great axe, and how does
you
that work?
are grappled,
Which just
so-
means my movement is 0, right?
Yeah, it does mean your movement is 0. You are not like entangled or whatever. You're not restrained technically. So your movement is 0. You're being held. I think like the great axe is a catch. You want to make a battle axe? Does that work?
That's what I mean. That's what I
Okay.
meant.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Yes. Do I have? Let me do this. Is
yeah.
it? Is it? It's just a regular. It's like it's a regular weapon, but it deals force damage.
Yeah. Correct.
Yes.
Yep. No pluses to hit or whatever. It just deals force damage. Otherwise, like it's standard with all your proficiencies, right? It just allows you to like manifest these weapons.
Indeed.
So this battle axe of force appears as like you yank while like Yanna's holding one arm and you like cleave down at them with this thing.
Yep. Can I still do it at two-handed?
No, I think that's the catch is like you're an arm
I
down.
can only use. Okay. Cool. So then, yeah, Lux will. Do I Hunter's Mark? Do I Planar Warrior?
Good question.
I mean, what was the command? Stop them?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we're pulling out all the stops.
She's looking for you to pull out all the stops.
Yeah, of course she is. Yeah, so Lux is going to use her bonus action to cast Planar Warrior.
Uh-huh.
So if this hits, it will be all force damage, and there
Uh-huh.
will be additional damage on top. Okay. Oh, ignore the +2, but
Whoa.
23 does hit, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was hoping that it wasn't gonna be
oh,
that
it's
hard,
max damage. Okay.
Yanna, you like you're like caught like as suddenly this like axe appears in your friend's hand, this like blade of kind of translucent force cleaving down into you for 14 points of damage. Yep. That's your first attack, Lux.
That's my first attack. Second attack.
It's chop. Ooh, it's coming sideways for another 6. So that's 14, 20 points of force damage, Yanna, as
That
Lux
is
like
a lot.
cleaves into you. Yup, Lux is not a joke. That's action, bonus action. Yanna, you're up.
Yeah, I think Lux there's I think for the first time, Yanna, like Lux is a generally happy person, and I think like for the first time you see her like this like stony, like emotionless face as her mind is like not her own, but there's tears gathering in her eyes.
Oh, tragic. You're gonna make me feel bad. Not that bad.
Not bad enough. Yeah.
Let's see. This is tough. Okay. That was a hard hit to start, but screw it.
Yeah, Lux is like not a joke.
Yep. Okay. I'm going to first with my action do this a little bit differently. So since one hand is preoccupied though, Yanna will put their sword on their arm and then just pull it across and cast what is it called? Channel Divinity to cast Sacred Weapon.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So blue lines fly across their sword. And then with my bonus action, they have like their eyes flash briefly with like this yellow hue as they cast Shield of Faith.
Nice. +2 AC. And you're
since
holding concentration.
Since I don't have my shield out, I have to use that instead.
So we watch as like these like kind of eldritch blue lines are like arcing down the length of the blade. This like yellowish kind of shield, the magic of your faith protecting you, Yanna. That's your action. That's your bonus action. That brings us to the top of the round. The tiefling like standing in here in the room, these dwarves start marching towards you. Right.
Man.
Okay. The first dwarf like comes striding up and like strikes out to punch at you. Yanna, what's your AC with the Shield of Faith?
20.
Oh my gosh. I said it to whisper, but it literally was a 20.
No!
All right, well, this was a quick session.
No! Oh my god.
And I didn't even give him advantage. I'm like, well, the other one's not there yet. They wouldn't be flanking yet, I don't think. Boom!
Oh,
I think.
my gosh.
Oh my, oh no me. What? Yanna, you are going to take a lot of damage right here. Wow. 38 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, I'm definitely down.
You drop. Okay. Yanna
Oh
drops.
my
Boom! Lux, your like arm just falls to your side as you watch Yanna go to the ground, and the other dwarf like reaches down, grabbing them and like heaving them up, dragging them into this room where you were trying to go. Where now, like, I think that like you follow in, compelled, and you see the tiefling woman is staring at you, Amelia Vernus, and she just looks to you like, place your weapons on the floor there.
Oh my gosh. How much is left on this dominate person?
We're gonna say probably 30 seconds,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean,
think
yeah,
that
Lux does so, certainly. Yeah.
Lux like puts her equipment down. I can't believe I hit that hard. Lux puts her equipment down on the floor. And then I think that the helm tar like steps over, grabbing you as the dwarves like having laid Yanna down on the floor, and you see the like tiefling leaning over them, like bandaging them, kind of attending to their wounds seemingly. And there's just like silence in the room as like all the dwarves, like she doesn't tell them to do anything. They're all just like operating. They start like tying you up. Yanna, you're stabilized at 0 hit points.
Oh, well, at least I'm not dead, I
Yep.
guess.
You're stabilized at 0 hit points, at which point the dwarves start tying you up. And Lux, as you were like tied now, you feel the arms of the helm tar like wrap around you from behind and kind of like lift your feet up off the ground as the dominate falls off. And Amelia Vernus is just standing in front of you.
Okay.
I'd like for you to make a perception check right here.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry.
That was
It is what it is.
crazy.
Oh, it's hairy,
Oh,
man.
19.
19. As you are looking around the room now, like blinking, like the kind of like the dominate falling away, I think that you notice there is this like residue on the floor in here almost, and on like the edges of the walls. It's almost like this glassy, smooth kind of gloss, like translucent-ish, like seemingly dried, like almost like, yep, like a glaze that's been like
Okay.
painted on almost.
Yeah,
And
I
I-
noticed like one of the walls looked like that, didn't I?
There's a door. There's another like separate dwelling on the other side of the roof, and I think you noticed like all around the edges of that door and at the base of the floor, it looked like that.
Yep. Yep.
And so Amelia Vernus like strides towards you and is just like, yeah,
Okay. All right.
yep,
Am I unconscious?
yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
What? Okay. have to see it. I have to see it. Is
What
the
do you
door
have to see?
Is the door open
Yeah.
behind me?
Yeah.
It's open behind me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, I should move a little bit. So like Yanna's like laying over here.
Yeah.
You're like a little bit forward, right? With the helm tar like behind you, lifting you up.
Oh my gosh, okay. Yanna is down in front of me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Yanna's
Over.
basically there. Yeah.
Yanna is right next to me.
Mm-hmm. Laying on the floor. You're tied up, like lifted off the ground by the helm tar. Yep.
Holy moly.
And so Amelia Vernus, like striding towards you, looking at you, is just like, you've placed your friend in incredible danger.
I'm sorry, Lux is making like a very like tough decision at this very moment.
You know you're both going to die for this.
You're going to die for this.
Oh no.
No
No.
one has ever
I'm
done
going
this
to get
us.
on the ship with your friends and leave here when they go to see what they unveil. I'm going to wear your body and your memories for the rest of my days. And your friends.
No. Okay. Oh my gosh.
And I think that with that, she's like, bring them. And the dwarves like lift Yanna up and they start like all kind of carrying you to the other side of the courtyard.
Where's the double doors that get us that we came up?
So like
They're,
you
like-
basically came from this corner over here and then went in, right?
My hands are tied.
Yeah. Yep. You're all tied up.
Like what's tied up?
Like I think you're kind of tied like you're in a sleeping bag. You know what I mean? I think that your arms are like at your sides, maybe pulled behind you, a
like
little
tied
bit.
in a sleeping bag, like we all tend to
Okay.
be.
Yeah, like we've all been. You've never been tied
Yeah,
up in a
You've
sleeping
never
bag
tied back in
before?
a sleeping bag before?
That doesn't happen to you?
Absolutely.
That was a
Absolutely.
universal experience in childhood.
I mean, you live in, the north. Who knows what's going on over there?
I think-
Nobody does. Not even
I
us.
just imagined you like, like you're in a sleeping bag. Like literally you're just like, like it's like a cartoon tie job almost. Your arms
Okay.
are tied around your body.
Hands are tied.
Your like legs are tied together. You're like tied pretty much straight. Like you could hop,
Yeah, but I can also misty step.
I know you can. Yeah, I know that.
But that doesn't get me like out of the ropes.
Well, I mean, they're taking you to like.
I mean, yeah, Lux is gonna try. Like she's gonna misty step towards the door. She's
Okay.
gonna misty step to try and get to the double doors, like to go down the stairs. Even
Okay,
if
so-
she's throwing herself down the stairs.
Basically, like as soon as you get out of the room, you're like in range. You like turn,
Yeah.
and you like focus your will, drawing on like the extraordinary powers that you've honed over these years, and your body like fades out, like reappearing at the top of the stairs, where you're like standing at the top of the stairs of the ropes, and you just want to like go
I
down.
throw myself down the stairs. I like she has
Oh
she has
my
another misty step. Like she has another misty step, so I will like use another one when I like get the chance. But, like-
Is Misty Step like Nightcrawler? You take what you're touching with you?
Yeah, I think that in canon you can misty step out of your bonds, but you can misty step away with them. You take 11 points of damage
Okay.
as you like tumble bludgeoning down the stairs. Boom, 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 and you come like crashing into a landing. And I think that you hear from upstairs like
Yeah.
the like slapping, like it almost sounds like wet shoes running down the stairs after
Gross.
you. And I think you hear the sound of voices down the hallway. You want to use your second Misty Step?
Yeah.
Okay. you misty step like another 30 feet down the hall. Like you're laying like a worm, right? You're
Can
like
I
roll,
try and
roll,
get out of
just
like
roll.
like Misty Step is technically a bonus action. Can I try and use my action to like break out of the like the rope?
Make an athletics or an acrobatics check. The DC is going to be
Uh,
high, but make an athletics or an acrobatics check to try to get out.
Big money. 23.
Oh! The difficulty is 20. I think you manage, like, as you're like tumbling and like the like rope is kind of wiggled a little bit from the fall down the stairs, and you manage to like yank one hand out, and you're like staggering down the hall, pulling. You feel the knot come loose, and the ropes start like untying from you. As like the ropes fall off, and you turn and look like 30 feet down the hall, and at the bottom of the stairs you see Taylor rising up from the floor is this dwarf. Like he's like his body is like forming up out of nowhere. And I think meanwhile the scene cuts back upstairs as Yanna, you are being carried forward by like these two other dwarfs. Oh no, wait, that one ran. Yeah, you're being carried forward by this dwarf, Amelia Vernus, at your side. And I think that the door opens. She's like carefully with a key unlocking the lock on this big wooden door, and she pushes it open. And I think Yanna, like you're just kind of coming to consciousness. You're still pretty like banged up and at 0 hit points. Yep.
Am I I'm not tied up, right?
They tied you. Yep. They would have like tried to tie you up. Yep.
As I'm waking up though, like I come to and I just sort of like my eyes open and they're kind of like glowing blue briefly. And like I do that like you know, like gasping awake as immediately lay on hands because I'm touching myself. And I got 30 hit points back. So I'm fully awake again, but
okay, you get 30 hit points back as the dwarf like brings you into this room, and you hear like, and you turn and look to the side, and there's these small green slimes that appear to be like massing over some form of like what was once organic matter, and they're consuming it. And I think it's at this point that like she turns to like the door next to her and like pulls it open, where you see this massive bulbous almost like cocoon of like this red jello-y almost like ooze filling up this entire kind of like 15 by 15 foot room. It's just like this massive thing like oscillating there carefully, and I think you could see through like the kind of clear reddish jello looking substance bodies inside of it. And you see like Amelia Vernus reach forward, and she like reaches a hand out to it, and her fingers just like extend, turning into like ooze and like connecting with it, and she's like,
oh my god,
I can only dream of what we will learn when we've taken all this one has seen.
Oh no.
In their head, Yanna says, gross. But not saying that out loud. They have their health back, but they're still acting like they're barely conscious.
Okay.
And so I'm being carried by this guy?
Yeah, this dwarf has kind of like got you by like the shoulders, you know, and he's kind of dragging your heels along. How tall is Yanna? Yanna's like a decent clip now, right?
5'6".
Yeah, so you're like about as tall as the dwarf, right? So it's one of these
wow.
like they have their arms up like underneath your elbows and are kind of dragging you by your heels.
Yanna is taller than Lux.
Mm-hmm.
Yanna grew a bit.
Yep.
Yanna's gonna groggily ask, just like, well, I guess another question, do I know what that is?
I don't know if you do. Make like an Arcana or a history check, maybe.
Sure. I'll run a history check.
Sure.
My rolls have been so good this game. 16.
16. So I think you're not exactly sure precisely what it is, but I think as you're like looking through this space in the room, I think it's at this point that you realize that like there's this thin tendril of slime almost coming up out of the stone into the dwarf's leg. And I think that you're like realizing like this dwarf and this woman and like who knows who else, like they're actually just part of the slime, right? As you're like watching her hands like get melded with it, it's clear like they are not separate entities. She just like, and I think you see amidst the shifting of this ooze the face of the tiefling Amelia Verdis inside of the ooze itself, you know.
Jeez.
Cool.
So this is why he's been losing his memories. Trying to turn him into a freaking ooze. Oh my gosh.
Got to eat him slowly to savor him.
Oh.
Did she lock the door when we came in?
No, the door very, very notably like still open behind you as like these three small oozes are just kind of like working whatever they're working over here in like the corner, right? Yeah.
Can I ask what is that?
And I think that like her face like turns back towards you and it's all like distorted and red and like kind of like malleable as she looks, and she's like, we are a high creation of the Illithids. They return from their dark corners where they were banished. Vran the Undying will lead us from our exile. And we are the tools through which they shall retake.
As she's monologuing.
Yes.
I'm gonna, because if they are all connected, it means this dwarf holding me is also distracted. I'm going to just headbutt backwards into his face to try and get him to release me.
Make an athletics check.
Oh my gosh. Vran the Undying is that freaking creepy guy that we ran into all those, like, right?
Oh my god, that would be a wild coincidence.
It's not a coincidence, but sure. Oh my goodness.
18.
6. You like your head snaps back and you feel it like connect with the dwarf's face, and then the sickening wetness kind of all around the back of your head as the dwarf's face is actually ooze, but the dwarf does like stagger backwards and like you almost like slip through its arms like they're ooze.
Does that count as an action? Probably, right? Yeah.
Sure, probably. Yep.
That's fine. I run out the door 30 feet.
Okay.
And then as I'm running, I will take out my shield and also. Oh wait, shit! I can't do multiple things, can I? Wait, is shield an interaction?
Yeah, it would be an object interaction. So your sword and your weaponry is with Lux's stuff in the other room. Like you would have been able to see it, like literally in kind of a pile right here. Right. And so yeah, you still have your shield on your back, but I think like your hands are tied. You're running. You could reach around and grab your shield. Your hands are just still tied.
Okay. I mean, if I can't effectively use the shield, it doesn't really do much, I guess.
I'll say you could use your shield for AC. Yeah, you get it out, but like your hands are still tied, right?
Yeah.
So you're just kind of like holding it.
That's fine.
Like, yep.
So object interaction shield, and I'm going to recast Shield of Faith.
Yeah.
Okay,
There we go.
Got it.
Oh my goodness.
As you come like charging out of the room, the dwarf just like it's like body oozing back up into like the upright position. The camera cuts back downstairs where Lux, like you're standing in the hallway, and I think you are watching as this dwarf rises from like the puddle of ooze at the bottom of the stairs up into like a dwarf that is like turning, like glaring at you, and begins kind of stalking down the hall. What do you want to do?
All right. So a few things. Number one, like as soon as Lux like regained her composure and like sees Yanna like down and was like making the decision on like how to get out. She like shouts, she doesn't like shouts before like leaving Yanna, like, I'll be back, I'm gonna go get help. And then like throws herself down the stairs.
I would have been unconscious.
Like does the whole thing. And then as soon as like she gets down the stairs and like gets herself up, she's screaming at the top of her lungs for like all of the Dragonfly crew, like any help, like even like oh no, what were their names? What were their names from last time?
The people that we tried to get together?
like any of the people, like Furdug, S-Fan, like she's like shouting like Denel, like she's shouting for like all of anybody that she could try and get attention of.
So Lux starts like screaming as like the dwarf is in the hallway, and I think it like stops for a minute looking at you. And then what do you do? Like as you're screaming.
So how big is the hallway? Like, can I try and like just dart past?
Yeah, I think that there's like intersections. Do you know what I mean? You could like cut a corner and like break this thing's line of sight right now. You're gonna try to like dart 100%. Away from it.
She's just running. She has none of her weapons. Like, she's
Let's
running.
have you make a stealth check as you take off and start running. And I think you hear the sound of like wet flapping feet coming behind you. Like,
okay. Yeah, gosh. Stealth. 22.
Okay, nice. You start like cutting corners as you're yelling. And then as soon as you like break line of sight and get a couple, like you duck down a hallway, you cut down another hallway, you hear the sounds of like the wet slapping feet behind you, and they like stop. And there's the moment where you're like up against the wall, like turning, looking to the corner, and like the camera like cuts to like the dwarf, like its face is like looking, we could see its eyes are like the red ooze before they kind of like close back over. And then we cut back to the ceiling. Yanna, you're standing in the middle of the roof with this shield. I think Amelia Vernus like steps out of the back room and just like glares at you like oh no, I can't stand to have you disrupt everything. And I think she's gonna cast.
Come on.
Hold person at you.
No.
I will take another wisdom saving throw, which you have advantage on.
All right.
And don't forget your paladin aura.
Yep. Come on.
17.
Oh, wait, plus?
With your paladin aura.
That's with the paladin aura. It includes it.
Oh.
Does it really? 1d20 plus 7. Hold on, I just want to double check myself. Yep. It probably does, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, yep. Okay.
Scheisse.
She's very high level.
She's got big stats. And with that, I'm sorry to say, Yanna, your body is like frozen rigid as you see the other like dwarves kind of appear behind her, sort of flanking her from out of like this little side room, and like the small oozes sliding towards you. And I think as she like starts walking towards you, you're gonna get to roll another saving throw at the end of the round.
Okay.
Yeah, these other oozes, they're all going to dash to just try to like get to you. She strides up to you. You can make a new saving throw at the end of the round.
Is it the end of the round?
Yep.
26 that time.
Okay, you like break loose of the hold as like these other slimes, they should more be like here. They're starting to like close in on you. And she has like come over to you. What do you want to do?
Boy, oh boy.
It's hairy.
It is hairy. That was 30 feet. You moved me out the full 30.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yep, that was 30 feet. Yep.
Okay. Oh boy. So, and that statue is right there too.
Yeah, it's like standing, like kind of like blocking the way between the stairs and you. Yep.
Okay. I'm going to run straight ahead towards that dwarf in the other room using my full movement. Where does that get me?
Towards the dwarf in the north.
This one right here.
Would get you like just within 5 feet of him.
Okay, and I guess I'll dash.
Okay, you can get to him. Yep.
Great. And then for my object interaction, I'm gonna grab the wheel and spin it.
Oh!
Yes.
Let's have you make
Oh, I
one
love
more
it.
athletics check as you just come like charging forward and like boom, I could see you almost like shove the dwarf with the shield and then like hook down and just try to like slam the wheel. Yeah, make your athletics versus his, I guess.
Oh god.
Amazing.
22.
17. I think there's a moment where like the dwarf grabs the wheel and it turns looking at you, its face like rippling this like red ooze as you're like you like heave on it, and I think we watch the wheel like pull through his fingers because they're ooze like jello. It's like
Gross.
the hands are like
Oh my
reforming. Whimsy. The hands are like reforming as like the wheel spins, and suddenly
As
you
it's spinning, it just keeps knocking goo off of it.
yeah, exactly. There's like goo, like just like like a frigged up pinwheel on it. And I think Lux, like you, as you're up there, Yanna, you just feel like and Lux from down below, you are just like boom, thrown into a wall as you watch the slimy dwarf come like flying past the intersection in front of you, like landing flat on the ground, and like the whole citadel just lists. And dare I say, but I think that's where we will live.
Oh my gosh.
I would say, by the way,
Oh
for
my
future,
goodness.
I knew what I was doing, so I would be well prepared to try to keep my balance when that happens.
Make a dex save right
a
now.
A dex of all things.
Yeah,
I
mean,
I think it's got to be. Yeah, I think it's got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's got to. You can do it with advantage because you knew what you were doing.
Okay.
Elder Oblex? What the hell?
I didn't say that.
A 13, so shorter.
I think that like with the 13, like you don't quite hold your feet, but you do hold the wheel as like the whole citadel just like tilts. As you've like, yeah. And I think that's where we'll leave you to today. That's mini arc 1. That is sub party 1. Got like zeroed out, running away, misty steps.
I will say, as a note, just for next time, Lux did like as soon as she got out of line of sight, she would have like transformed herself into a dwarf. Like she would have like
great, yeah,
like made herself.
That.
Changelings. That was wild.
Yeah, that was a punchy crazy. 40 minutes of D&D.
Oh my gosh, absolutely amazing!
I can't believe I rolled a 20 on that first freaking hit. I was like sitting there trying to do the math, like I can't possibly have just hit for that much damage, did I? Oh my god, it's a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, Lux did 20 points of damage right out the gate, so
it's my own.
Could have
fault,
done
really.
more, probably.
I wasted a lot of time prepping myself, which I tend to do, as opposed to just swinging, which if I did, probably would have worked out better. Because I
mean,
unloaded nuke Divine Smites, but
you might have like popped the saving throw, and you could have started smiting our advisor here. But yeah, I hope that's not too anticlimactic for you guys. It's a very exciting moment for me to leave the rest of
I
you.
mean, yeah, no, the double Misty steps down, the Misty step down the stairs, and then the Misty step down the hallway as Lux is just like pulling her arm out and like struggling with that. And the moment I got out of the room, I was like, I am not gonna make it down the stairs. It's impossible. So I knew immediately, where I'm like, I'm gonna spin the wheel. I was just trying to figure it out if I have to dash or not. And so when I had to, I'm like, all right, fair enough.
Don't forget to get your pet spayed and neutered. It's just so funny, man. It's so good, Kevin. I love this new, like, when in doubt, spin the wheel. Is the place where we're fighting have a wheel? Yes?
Yes.
Spin
it.
I love it. Oh my god.
Oh gosh. Cool. Well, that is I guess episode 5.1. We will be back again to see what happens to the professor and to Doc as they are down below decks, prowling around like a couple of burglars. And Jake is winning the affection of one Brazzoli Chaos Brewer, while Reya casts Speak with Animals to talk to the bees.
Yeah.
I feel like they're not going to have as bad of a time as you guys did. So,
well,
we knew it
until a certain point, and
yep.
then everything is going to go sideways. So.
Literally.
Thank you for that too, Kevin. What a clutch moment it's going to be when I get to end all of these sessions with, and then the Citadel goes sideways.
Absolutely amazing. Beautiful.
Cool. I see a couple of our friends trickled in. Thank you for joining us here tonight. We got a little mini episode as they split the party. So we're going to track the split party throughout this week. The whole gang should be back together, hopefully next week. But yeah, that's it. That's Dragonfly. That was pretty fun.
It was great.
Super fun. That was really fun.
Yeah. I'm gonna go make myself an early dinner, but that was very fun. Part of me was like, oh gosh, like they're probably just gonna get away. They've got so many tricks that it was like,
do we?
Dominate is pretty strong, though.
Yeah,
starting the encounter when like it's a 2-person party and one of them is dominated. That's tough.
Yeah,
that's really tough.
Starting with that bad roll was just bad for me, because like if I had rolled and understood like just smack Lux, then great. But I was like, oh well.
Yep. Could have been a pre-initiative, like a charm-breaking attack. It's pretty. It's very, very, very funny. Guys, thank you for joining me on this truncated episode of Dragonfly. What's going on in the world, Kevin? You're keeping busy. We were just talking about Daredevil and Batman and all kinds of stuff.
Keeping real busy with the podcasting. We got Everything is Super, the main podcast that Josh Wigler and I do. We are about to dive into Moon Knight. That's coming up next week. So that's going to premiere, and we're going to get on in. We're really excited because Josh and I are not really that familiar with the character, but we do love Oscar Isaacs, so there's that. So we're really pumped about that. And
very weird character. Yeah, Moon Knight is weird, man.
I just know that he has dissociative identity disorder, and each one has like sort of a different power, kinda. So I'm excited to experience that. They're swinging for the fences, and I love it. And then in the Everything is Super Extra podcast, Josh and I are taking a break from the X-Men animated series. We finished season 1, but before going to season 2, the timing just bizarrely worked out that Daredevil and all the others are being added to Disney Plus. And Josh and I first started podcasting 7 years ago.
Wow.
I know, with Daredevil season 1 on Netflix when it premiered. So we're finishing out what we started, because we never did season 3. We have been requested season 3 by many people, including Tessa, who is continuously asked, and so we are delivering and doing Daredevil season 3 episode by episode on the Everything is Super Extra podcast. Then of course there is the YA podcast, which I do with Melissa Woodward, one of my fellow Dragonflyians. Dragonflyian? Anyway, person on this stream. That we're currently in the midst of Harry Potter with Brooklyn Zed, covering each installment of the franchise along with a separate feedback show, which we bring on guests. We just did the Goblet of Fire feedback show with the a guest familiar to the Discord and familiar to the D&D on the Discord, let's just say we talked about leprechauns, and that might be able to narrow that down.
I know who that is.
So that was really great. And so we're heading into Order of the Phoenix next. I'm really actually pumped about Order of the Phoenix because I have many thoughts and feelings about that one. And yeah, there's that. You can catch me elsewhere. I'll be doing a few other podcasts here and there I'm really excited about. And yeah, I think that's mainly it. That's what's going on for me. It feels like a lot. I feel like I talked for a while.
It is a lot, but that's all good stuff. I am, as an original, like, day one binging Philly of the Daredevil podcast, I am very excited to, like, go back and, like, I watched season 3, but I'm like, yeah, there's a great excuse to go back and rewatch season 3. So, like, I'm hyped to have you guys going back to it, and all the rest of that stuff is great. All good stuff. Go follow Kevin. There he is on Twitter. Yeah,
It's where we first knew you. It's very exciting.
it's wild. It really is. Taylor, how about you? What's going on with you in the world? Anything you want to like hype up or bring our attention to? We should be aware of.
Not necessarily. You know, the general just like be nice to each other. Things are kind of crazy. But also it's kind of funny. Like I knew that I had heard that you guys were going to be podcasting about Daredevil again, and I started up season 1 today.
Yes,
gonna like go
it's a great
through
episode.
it. Yeah, so I made it like I think 5 episodes in.
Oh boy,
Daredevil and Jessica Jones are quite good. Daredevil is quite good. Jessica Jones is pretty good. Luke Cage is good, and then there's Iron Fist. You know, but so yeah. Watch Daredevil, enjoy it. It's really quite a series. You know,
especially season 1. I love season 1.
Yeah, it's very strong. Yep.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I'm Rich Filiberto. I'm DM Philly. I'm here. I'm doing stuff. We'll be around like a lot more in the coming weeks. We got a bunch of stuff coming. Hopefully between now and like next week, you will see me pop up with the extra little mini episodes of Dragonfly that are coming here. We will be here Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, for the Brandon Sanderson Fantasy Book Club. We're covering parts 2 and 3 of Mistborn, ripping away through that. I was like making tracks today, Taylor. I've like read a lot. I didn't really.
How are you reading that much?
I don't know. Good question. The audiobooks go a long way. I had a lot of driving in the last couple of days, so the audiobooks kind of I knocked a lot out. But yeah, Mistborn parts 2 and 3 of book 1 this Saturday, 3 p.m. We'll have a couple of friendly, familiar faces here. We're doing the full book club and the post-show recaps Discord, so that's a lot of fun. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys all for like popping in and hanging out and saying hello and being supportive and all that good stuff. Thank you too for giving me your time tonight so I could roll 20s on you and throw you down the stairs. You just threw yourself.
Thank you for doing
it. I did throw myself down the stairs. Yep. I was talking today, ironically, about how I used to throw myself down hills as a child. So this feels pretty, this feels pretty.
It feels like such a country thing. As a city boy, I just get confused every time I hear things like this.
Yep, it is.
Fun time. Yep.
Very country thing. You know, we like to tie ourselves up in sleeping bags and throw ourselves down hills.
There it is.
All right.
It all comes together.
All right.
Bye.